Ipswich 1, Manchester United 1. Not the start that United fans wanted to life under Ruben Amorim, although 81 seconds and we were out the traps very, very quickly indeed. We're going to break the game down, of course, take your views, your opinions on this. Hit the like and the share button. Make sure you are subscribing. If you're a United fan, hit the like button. Of course, if you're a rival fan and you want more people to laugh at United fans for not winning today, then hit the like button and share it. It's the best way to get the content out there. So get that done right now. People, I've got the panel coming for you a little bit later on the show as well. I want to start, though, because otherwise I'll end up forgetting to. And I'm even going to timestamp it right now as well. I want to start by congratulating Ipswich. Kieran McKenna has got them very well drilled. I know they only have one win so far in this Premier League season away at Tottenham, but they're a very well-drilled team. Hard to beat at times. Their press is very intense. And you can see that they've been working on a system, a style of play and an ethos for some time now under Kieran McKenna. Of course, he has big connections to us as Manchester United. He was a coach for us, worked with their academy and with the first team. So I want to congratulate them first of all. Amari Hutchinson, I thought man of the match today. He terrorized Casemiro in the middle. His goal, yes, took a slightly fortuitous deflection, but an excellent strike. And I thought in the first half, he absolutely run the show. He was impeccable. He was half a yard quicker than any Manchester United player, especially in a defensive capacity. And overall, look, they're not picking up a massive amount of points, but I really would like to see Ipswich stay up. I like how they play football. Their brand of football is good. And I'll tell you what they didn't do today, which I was hopeful they would. I thought they may. I just thought maybe the occasion, especially with Man United scoring early, I wasn't surprised we did that. They didn't back down at all. They didn't lay down and let Man United walk all over them. They stood up and were counted. They showed great desire, tenacity, and energy to stay in the game. And I wanted to start this show off by congratulating Ipswich Town, showing some humility. I thought we'd score 3 or 4 goals today, and I got that massively wrong. But I thought that was more to do with us. And I wasn't sure if they would be this intense, and they managed to maintain it. And even when they sat off and absorbed Man United, they were hard to break down. They gave us very, very little change to work with. They really, really did. So I want to congratulate them first and foremost on that. I really, really do. When it comes to Manchester United, look, United fans, today we're going to take our medicine. Man United fans are going to get bantered because we didn't win the opening game under Ruben Amorim. There's no new manager bounce. I thought you guys were going to kill it. This is where Man United fans have got to learn to grow a backbone and some thick skin. As I've said, just changing managers was never going to fix us instantly. The squad needs an overhaul, and it's going to take time to rebuild the club. This is why, look, I think you'll see some really good performances early on. We saw a shape today. I thought the shape worked well, but the players have got to get used to it. The case in point I would use is look at Chelsea in pre-season and how easy they were to play through in those pre-season games. Even in the early part of the Premier League campaign, holes here and there in the pitch, especially when they lost possession, it was filling those holes defensively. I thought United were a little bit lost at times today. And that's the players not just getting used to it in training, it's getting used to playing a particular style in games. Now, the one thing Man United haven't done, barring a 6-month period at the beginning of Ten Hag's reign, is pick a brand of football and stick to it. We've always chopped and changed far too much, and it's hard for the players to get used to a particular way. Today wasn't the result I wanted, but for me, I'm still relatively happy. I'm disappointed not to win. I always am. And of course, there's areas to scrutinize. I think you look at the starting lineup, starting Casemiro and Eriksen together, I think was a mistake. I know we've got some injury problems at centre-back. I personally wouldn't have started Johnny Evans there. I don't like Delo on the left-hand side. He slows down our attack because he's not that comfortable on his left foot. With the way we played, I know he got an assist. You're better off having Ahmad on the left if he's playing defensively because he's left-footed. And Delo on the right, I think there'd be more balance in there. And I know he scored a goal today, and some won't like what I'm about to say. I don't think Rashford, against one game, and we've got to see others, him as the striker, even with 2 players nearer to him, didn't really work for me. I thought Bruno, he came more into the game in the second half, but again, he just looked like he didn't know where to be in the attacking phases, and we looked really sort of And some of these players have had 1 or 2 training sessions with the manager, right? So I'm very, very understanding of this. But there was a number of players that just weren't quite at it today. We improved in terms of our control after the substitutions. When Ugarte came onto the pitch, when who came on when Ugarte came on as well? Luke Shaw came on. We did look better. We had far more of the ball. But what we really lacked was the ability to break down our opponents. So in that second half, the manager got his system right. The manager got the setup right. Yes, there were some counter-attack opportunities to Ipswich, but Ipswich have counter-attacked and had great opportunities against everybody, including the team top of the league, Liverpool, this season. Go back and watch the game. I'm not too worried about that. In the second half, we dominated the ball. We dominated the territories. When we got to the edge of the box, the players lacked the creativity, the bravery, and the ideas to go and create those chances to win the game. Ahmad near the end. There was a chance very early in the second half for Garnacho that was set up by Bruno, but there wasn't enough in between that. We lacked that cutting edge and that creativity. And a lot of people say, Terry, where are your goals going to come from? For me, I felt for a long time our creativity is our issue, more so than having players that can score the goals. Rashford being a prime example. We created 1 of those chances in the whole game. Where you look at Ipswich, they created 2 of those chances. And that's where I have to give Man United's man of the match great praise today. And that's Onana. I thought Onana, those 2 saves from him were absolutely phenomenal. Game-saving saves. Absolutely out of this world. And he was a player a year ago I looked at and just thought, this is not a Man United player. Too many mistakes, too many easy shots going past him, too many errors. The last 12 months, he is proven me wrong and he has turned it around. So I want to congratulate him today. But a long way for this Manchester United team to go, as most of us level-headed fans felt. Doesn't mean I ain't disappointed with the win. Doesn't mean I haven't criticized the manager so far. I have. I think he made some errors with the starting lineup. But remember this, and this is, for me, is as close to the truth as you'll get. You learn far more about your players in games than you do in training. And not winning games actually teaches coaches, teaches managers, teaches anybody, any sport, teaches you a lot more about your fighter, a lot more about your player, a lot more about your participants when they fail, when something goes wrong. How do they handle adversity? And there'll be a lot of lessons to come out of this for the manager. Some of the players he started, he may already look at and go, that ain't quite going to cut it. What I will say about the team today is one of the fundamentals that's been missing. We were a little easy to play against in the first half, and I just think that was the personnel that the manager got wrong. As soon as he made those changes, harder to break down. Everybody worked hard. Everybody tracked when they needed to. Everybody was staying in shape. And barring the counter-attack moves, where we were committing players forward and we want to be an attacking team, we were hard to play against in that regard. And that's important for Man United to, again, nowhere near the level I want us to be. I want us to move up and up and up and up. Right now, you'd still give that like a C minus, maybe a B plus, right? A B minus or a C plus, something along those lines. There's lots of room for improvement. It's nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Disappointed with the result, as I say, but I'd love to get your takes, your views, and your opinions on that game today. We're going to go to some of your super chats here. Baz says, Ahmad showed a lot of character today, playing a position he doesn't know. Højlund is too docile. He doesn't even try to score. It's a great point, and that reminded me of do you know what, with him? I will always defend him when he plays a game and we create nothing, but he had an opportunity to shoot and he didn't take it. Confidence issue, maybe it's a vision issue. He didn't see that he had that opportunity. Again, that needs to be worked on and that needs to be addressed. What I'll say about Ahmad, and Amorim has already told us this, he's going to be using players in multiple areas. You might see in the next game him use Ahmad in the 10. You may see Mazza played on the right side. I think there's going to be some variations, and he's got to test it in real time. This is the biggest reason why I said I felt we should have made the change in the summer, because you have pre-season to do these experiments, meaning you start the season with more of an idea of your squad. But yes, Ahmad, very, very good today. There's no doubt. And yeah, I wasn't impressed with either Xerxes or Højlund when they came on. And I feel those two, a lot of our players, whether you say it to them in this way or not, they're playing for their position at the football club, and they should feel that pressure now, because we have to start motoring on. Tell Ten Hag to remove the Amorim mask. Onana, man of the match. Delap is a hybrid of a new age striker and old school number 10. Missed a lot of chances today, but would love him in an alternative option behind Jackson. Yeah, Delap's very good. His movement is great. And by the way, his finishing wasn't even bad. It was just two phenomenal saves. Phenomenal saves from Onana. The first one was Peter Schmeichel-esque, made his body big, threw his arms out and got his chest on it. And the second was instinctive. There's not much more he could have done, really and truly, with that. Thank you here, Jay. That's 36 months as a member of the Football Terrace, you legend. Your pressing in the first half was very good tactically. Yeah, and look, there's lots to work on. And I believe we saw what Amorim promised, and that's an idea. He didn't say we'd like it. He didn't say it'd be perfect. He didn't say we'd be all guns blazing. You'd see an idea. And I think there's going to be experiments with players in certain positions. I think he's going to test whether or not he can trust certain players. And interestingly, you can call it a mistake. You can call it trial and error. It depends on the way you want to phrase it, right? Negative people will say mistake. That's strike one. People with a brain will probably turn around and say it's trial and error. We did well. One of the reasons we did so well with Van Nistelrooy was Ugarte and Cass together. Today, we took one of those guys out and we looked a little bit lightweight in that middle. I hope Amorim learns from this, from his trial and error. Onana, your man of the match. Rashford was decent. Stop the hate. Zero hate at all. I think I want to see Rashford playing one of those 10 roles. Because you saw today, like I knew we would, they drift out wide a lot. I still think he's going to be better suited to that. However, do we have the other strikers to do it? We'll see. Amorim back three system won't work with United's players. That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether it works now or not. What United have not done in 11 years is pick a system. Okay, and we ain't got the players for it yet. So what we'll do is we'll do something else until we've built the squad. But you never get that time. So what you need to do is start playing the system, and then over the course of multiple transfer windows, you add the players in that can. The same as Klopp and FSG. And they did that with Brendan Rodgers, and they did it with Klopp. Same thing. It's what City have done. Each time they had an idea and an identity of how they wanted to look and play as a club. And they've improved their squad year on year. And managers along the way, or head coaches. So Man United have can't quite play that way. So let's go back to the 4-2-3-1 until we built the squad. Then we'll go to a back three, how I want to play. We can't make that mistake again. There's absolutely holes in this. Anybody that thought it was going to be perfect from day one, and there are some Man United fans out there, and I'll call them out. I saw them all over Twitter. We're going to be this, we're going to be that. Now, I predicted a win today. But that's not the same as stating we're going to do this. We're back. We're going to take the season by storm. We're going to scare everybody. We're going to be perfect. No, it's going to take time. There's going to be ups and downs. But what those guys want to do is set the standards for an instant level to here so they can moan that it isn't at that level. It's just ridiculous. Montclair drippy draw to the Tractor Boys. I don't get the second part. What do you mean Montclair? I don't get it. Okay. Because he wears the clothes. Right, I get it now. There we go. Terry, you said 4-1. No, I got my prediction wrong. This is what I thought would happen today. I thought we'd start the way we did, fast and score. And I thought that Ipswich would be rattled by that. And we'd score another. They'd score, which they did. And then we'd grab a few more goals. Ipswich were much better than I thought. They didn't fold. They fought back brilliantly. And United weren't as good as I thought we'd be either. However, that isn't the same as me suggesting that there's not going to be ups and downs, trial and error, players that do work and don't work in this system. There's a fundamental difference, a gargantuan distinction, a piece of chalk, okay, and a piece of cheese from Mars between those two statements, my friend. I've already said at the beginning of the show, if you go back, praise the Ipswich, said I got that element wrong, but that's a score prediction. We all get score predictions. And I said 3-4, by the way. But we all get score predictions wrong. What I am not going to be wrong about is the time it's going to take to implement a club level system and build a squad for it. Whilst you're building that, you are going to get results up and down. You're going to get players that don't fit. You go, oh, he ain't quite good enough. But what do? It's quite simple. You just buy a better player for that system. What we don't want to do is move away from let's try this one. Let's do something else until we're ready. Do you know, it's sort of that, people that say, do you know what, Monday I'm going on a diet. Those people very rarely stick to it. Just start the diet today. I'm giving up smoking end of the month. If you're really going to quit smoking, just do it today. That kicking the can down the street rarely ends well, my friend. Rarely ends well. He made the changes in the game. He said himself pre-game that 11 is not the one he'll go with. It's who trained and who was ready, not worried. And I didn't see that because I was on my other show, to be fair. And but again, I knew that, Dan, without even hearing it. I knew it without even hearing it. And that's why I'm thinking there's some good today. There's some issues, but it's going to take time. This is, we're starting it later than we should have done, but this is a real rebuild. It's as simple as that. And the players are now being played differently, different system structures, and it's subtle things in game. So, because we were playing with the wing backs today, when we attacked with good numbers, by the way, what was happening is that when we were losing possession, there was holes in our channels. Now, again, those holes weren't there when this team last played together because we weren't using this system. And yes, they're running through it in training, but training is like sparring when you're a fighter. You only go so far. You never spar at full intensity. Never. Okay, that's not true. Occasionally, someone turns up to sparring and goes a little bit over the top, but then often remove quite quickly. You never go full pelt. You're not trying to, you just don't do it. It's like 80, 90%. Same as training. But in training, both the attackers and defenders from the same team know what each other are doing. It's a little different. It's a little different to being in a real game. So there's going to be peaks and troughs. There's going to be ups and downs. You criticize the things you want to see improved, but patience is key. If people just come in straight away, I ain't happy throwing their toys out the pram. Listen, all I've got to say to you is, well, you're never going to be happy because we can't be fixed overnight. We can't be fixed overnight. Amorim chose the team based on the amount of training sessions the players had, learning the new system. Thursday's team will be closer to what he wants. Yeah, and then listen, and we've still got like Lissandro and Lenny Euro to come back into the team. I'm not sure why Maney was on the bench and didn't come on. It's probably a fitness issue. We're going to be much better on the ball instantly with those three players back in our team. Straight away, much better in possession. And let's see what we do with the fullbacks and stuff. I think Ahmad's going to play further forward as well, by the way. Would Ten Hag have won that today? Success takes time. I don't care. He might have won it. He might not have. I don't care. He's not the manager of Man United anymore. He might have done. He may not have. That's my answer to it, my friend. But thank you. I'm going to bring the panel out in a few moments' time. That's a great comp. We are five games unbeaten. That's very, very true. 5 games unbeaten. It's great. 0% lose percentage for Amorim. Terry, Ipswich, no excuses. Ipswich bottom 3. Nobody's given any excuses. I've praised Ipswich, said I've disappointed. I've given the reasons as to why I think we didn't win the game today. We are on the Football Terrace. I don't care how arrogant this sounds. We are not going to go down the road of genuine criticism, rationale, and reasons are excuses. Just because some people, I know you're kind of joking, David, you're a long-time viewer, just want to hear people go, actually, Amorim shit. What kind of analysis is that? If you want that type of analysis, honestly, go to some Brack Street boozer that charges £1.20 for a pint and listen to them talk. If you want that, go listen to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we know we've got problems at this club. We know it's going to take time to fix. But do you know what hasn't changed for me? My buzz ain't gone. I'm in a good mood still. Why? Because I know how long this is going to take. So I'm not going to throw baby out with the bathwater after one draw. By the way, to a team that everyone was predicting was going to beat us. All of the rivals on Friday, on straight facts, you're losing 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. So the maddest part is, you were fucking wrong as well. But there we go. Standards FC. Yeah, but Standards FC are wrong about this. Standards FC are wrong. Because I've said it before, if Standard FC can show me, I've been asking for 2 years, haven't I, KJ? For Standards FC to show me a team the size of Man United, who's been in the mud for 11 years like we have and not challenged for a league title, that had one of their worst seasons league-wise in their last 40 years, had their worst start to a league campaign in, 100 years, that's had a fundamental takeover and rebuild needed, that's gone from that point to being one of the best in the country by the appointment of a new manager only, and gone on to challenge straight away. just because their fans were angry and shouted pejoratives at the players. Show me the examples of where that has worked, and then I'll do it. I swear on my children's life. Give me the example, and I want multiple examples of where that has worked and where that has happened, and I'll join Standard FC. I'll say, I was wrong. Let's start calling them. I'll start doing it, right? Let's start being angry every day. But there's no way that you can just be being angry is going to fix this situation. Standards have to be there, but understanding that it's going to take time. Equally, that doesn't mean I'm not disappointed with certain players that I've criticised them, haven't I? And I know you're only joking, brother, but there we go. Standard FC are an absolute... Some of the things they say I agree with, but the fact that they don't believe there should be step change, the fact they believe you can go from here to here over, like, just because someone's angry is fucking mental. I see some of them on Twitter today, and I'm like, you actually, no, they're not mental. They don't believe it. They're trolling you. That's what they're doing. They're trolling you. Don't use dare say Bayern. Bayern. So Bayern Munich spent 11 years like Man United, had a terrible start to a season in that period, changed managers, and were brilliant straight away. Fuck off. Fuck off. Inter Milan. When did Inter Milan have this 11-year period that was fixed just by the appointment of a manager and fans being angry? Show me. Show me. AC Milan did it. AC Milan ain't back, bruv. They won a league title, but they ain't back. AC Milan ain't back. When AC Milan are genuinely good enough to win a Champions League, we can say they're back. But they ain't back. Dortmund. I said a team Man United size. Come on now. You've got no examples for me. Chelsea. When? Don't say when Jose came in. Because the season prior to that, you were very close to winning the league with Ranieri. And you were very good. You qualified for the Champions League the season before that with a very late goal when then Roman took over. Come on. These 11 years. My ass. Galatasaray, not Manchester United size. Come on, you guys got nothing. Because you know what I'm saying is right. By the way, this is where I agree with Standard FC. We've got to have the standards to get back there. But Standard FC think a 25-stone man can get down to 15 stone in a week of doing that. They're the guys that Standard FC are the kind of people that go gym for a week, smash it out, look in the mirror and go, nothing's changed. I'm just sore. So they quit. That's them. Too many variables in your analogy to even find a semblance. Well, there's not too many variables. But do you know why you think there's too many variables? Because it hasn't happened. Any team that's been in the mud takes time to get out of it. That's why you've got no examples of someone that can be awful like us for over a decade, need fundamental change at every level, appoint a sporting director, get a new head coach and go, look, we're back. Not in a league like the Prem. It doesn't happen. There's not too many variables. It's because it doesn't exist. It's like you will not find a 38-year-old man from England who's 5'10", who used to be a bit of an athlete, who weighs 16 stone, that can spend a week in a gym with a personal trainer drinking healthy milkshakes afterwards, who suddenly gets back into athletic shape within a week. I've not added too many variables to find the example. I've created a situation that's impossible because it don't fucking exist, bruv. And I haven't created this. It's the reality of the situation. Time. I'm a gooner, and I think Amorim is the guy. Too many weird haters for no reason. Oh, rival fans are meant to hate. I've got no issue with rival fans hating. I'm not even talking about them. Standard FC are not rivals. Standard FC are a weird bunch of trolls. And by the way, Standard FC, I'm only talking about nameless, faceless trolls on socials. I ain't talking about real people that show their name and talk. Just everybody, at least, because they back it up with their face. There's nothing wrong with having standards. I agree, I have them. But they must be realistic. Otherwise, you'll forever be angry. United fans need to learn this. Of course, my friend. So Jim Ratcliffe won't live through the entire transfer windows. Fucking hell, it's a bit morbid, mate. Jesus Christ. Pep didn't get it right straight away. Pep never took over a team in Man United situation as well. Barca weren't where we were. Bayern weren't, and we'll see. So again, and it took him a season to get them to title 11 contention in the Premier League. So that's what I'm saying. People are just crazy. Ineos pissed money up the wall. Ashworth is mid. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Tell us who, so we can put it on screen and KJ can click it for posterity. That's what we can do, my old mate. Right, time to bring out my wonderful panel now. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please get that done. And by the way, to the trolls in the comments, I do enjoy it. Keep it coming, please. It's fun. it's fun. We've got KJ, we've got Dizzy, we've got Sunshine, we've got Grigs. Gentlemen, it wasn't quite the party that we wanted today in terms of the result. But KJ, Amorim's first game, we didn't lose. Give me your thoughts, good, bad, and indifferent.
We've got massive teething problems going on, which I think all of us could pretty much say we expected to happen, you know? Like, I think Amorim has only had the squad for a week. He's obviously picked his first 11 that thinks will get the job done, and for me, he got it wrong. In my opinion, the Johnny Evans starting in left centre back of the three wasn't a great idea. Eriksen and Casemiro together wasn't a great idea. Garnacho playing when he's just not in form and getting a lot of heat as a young player wasn't the best idea. And I think as much as it worked in sense of he got the assist, I think Ahmad was wasted outside on the right wing back position because he's so talented and so good in the forward positions. Like, as much as he's probably good at right wing back, he's so much better in one of those inside 10 positions. So I just think he's just got obviously the starting 11 wrong. His personnel isn't ideal at all to get this going, especially the ones that he picked. And then we've got the teaming problems. We've got to give this time, you know, like. He said it himself that to get time means you have to win time, and that means you have to win games. And I'm sure he's looking at the different things he can do better to make sure we win the next game. But overall, as a United fan, disappointed. But really and truly, if we said the squad was rubbish and crap and not going to challenge for the Premier League and can't score goals and it's not good enough, why is it 2 weeks later from that point we're miraculously just going to be the best team in the world? It was never going to happen. So I wanted to win this game, but at the end of the day, we're not there yet, and we have to see what Amorim does in the next game against Bodo Glimt and Everton.
No, I hear you on the Ahmad thing. We didn't see enough of him we saw him right at the end, and you just think if he was a little bit closer, what more could he do? I just listen. A lot of people in the comments are saying excuses. Do you feel like you're giving excuses for Man United today?
No, we won't. No, because we're not good enough. Like, I don't know what more I can say. Like an excuse is a reason. No, what I'm giving is reasons. Like, I'm giving you reasons why we didn't win. Excuse would be, it was raining, or Ed Sheeran was at the ground and it just made Ipswich play so much better. Like, that would be excuses. I've given you reasons. I've given you what I think my manager's done wrong. I think I think our players weren't good enough in the day. And that's it. That's all we can say as United fans. There's no excuses going on here. It's just the truth. You know what it is, Terry? They want us to be fuming. They want our heads to be on Mars. They want us to say Amorim out already. They want us to say all these wild outlandish things so they can laugh and banter us and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, these are the same people that were calling us crap. So why do you expect me to be mad tonight? So
no, I hear you. This here says we didn't lose. Big clubs when it suits you. You do also have to understand you're missing the sarcasm when I say that, my friend. You know, I love that. Like, you don't understand the difference between a reason and an excuse or sarcasm. Dizzy, what was your opening thoughts on United's first game under Amorim today?
I think, you know what, I saw the first 10 minutes or so, I was like, oh, I can see our formation. Oh, wow, look how compact we are. It's all looking good. And you know what? We scored like 2 minutes in. And unpopular opinion, it might have been too early to get the goal, to be honest. Because after that, bro, I'm watching the game. I'm like, hold on. We haven't touched the ball in like 20 minutes. Ipswich are just popping it around us and stuff, and we couldn't get nowhere near them. And I think the conversation around Amorim is a bit reductive after a game. I think we can hope, we can speculate, which is great, but I think it's way too early to be drawing any sort of conclusions about literally anything, especially after an international break where some guys were coming back on Thursday or Wednesday night. I thought second half we controlled a lot of it, but we were still lacking the cutting edge. We were still lacking the final ball to create a clear-cut chance. And my only fear is I don't know how they fix that, because a lot of the guys that we have in those areas are very wasteful with the ball. very, very wasteful with the ball. So I don't know, but I'm optimistic though.
Just on what Ruben has said, just looking at some of his comments that have come out, take him at face value. He just says, this week I spoke in interviews about what I did in more than 4 years at Sporting. I want to just work with my players, nothing more. But I understand it's a different game here. He goes on to say that we have problems. We know that the players will be confused sometimes, which interestingly, it's nice to see that your manager sees it the same way you did, because I felt that in that first half we looked lost at times. But by this time next year, I promise we won't have the same struggles. And I think what's really important about that is I know that there's this propensity to say, I want to see the style of play instantly. And I do want to see the formation and what we're trying to do. But the idea that it can be perfected inside a few months with no transfer windows, I think is a crazy train of thought. So it is going to take time to get me. Look how long it took Jurgen Klopp to not just play good football, but to get that balance right where they were good enough to challenge for a league title. And that was a team, by the way, inherited that only a year or so prior was like a game away, was one Gerrard slip away from winning the Premier League. We ain't near that. This team ain't been touching those things. So I agree with the criticism he's had, but I think this is where maybe more so than any other manager we've had, I feel like there has to be an element of patience. But if he keeps the same system and he keeps trying to progress us in the right way, I think he'll get that by and large.
And to be fair, the first half we were very stagnant. We looked confused. We didn't know what to do with the ball. We couldn't even get through Ipswich's press. In the second half, after he made some changes, we were moving the ball quite well. We were holding the ball in sort of good areas. We weren't in our own half, and Onana didn't have the ball for large spells. Yeah, we rode our luck with a couple of great saves by Onana. We may have to revise the Onana hate. Maybe
we need to chat on it now. We need to chat him later in the show. We need to chat about Onana later in the show.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought
Grigs, how about yourself, bro? What's your opening thoughts watching today's game?
Nothing unexpected, to be honest. I mean, the lineup shocked me. I didn't expect Ahmad to play right wing back. I'm not gonna lie. I expected him to play that right 10, and obviously, credit to Amorim. He experimented. That's what you got to do when you start at a new club, especially mid-season, when you really haven't had time to train. And that's what he did. He played Ahmad right wing back, and for the first couple of minutes, it worked because obviously he got the assist. But hopefully, it was just a one-time experimentation. I want to see Ahmad play higher up the pitch. In my opinion, I think today showed that he is arguably, excluding Onana as a goalkeeper, Ahmad's our best player, at least right now, in terms of consistent levels. Every time you see him play, he pretty much performs the same every single game. So I would like to see him play higher up the pitch. Yeah, you saw a club that had 3 days of training with the new manager. I think Amorim just said it now too. He's like, my players thought too much. We only really had 2 days to really learn with each other. It's a completely different system. We're no longer playing 4 at the back. It's 3 at the back. Center backs have different angles now. You're playing with wing backs, only 2 midfielders, so you have less options in midfield to pass to. Attackers playing different positions. Rashford at the 9. It's the same old. There's a reason why he says himself that he doesn't like playing the 9 because he basically gets knocked out the game. And yeah, I think we just need to see better players come. And I think hopefully on Thursday against Bodo Glimt, we see more experimentation. We see different players, whether it's to see freaking Anthony right wing back. I don't know who you have to play. Because Dalot left wing back, I don't want to see Dalot left wing back again. He was absolutely trash today. Yeah. He was trash today. And then I think Amorim, you also saw today, you saw what Amorim pointed out in the interviews he's done for the past week. He's highlighted 2 weaknesses, physical levels, and now we really have a lot of weak midfielders. Our midfield performance today was absolutely diabolical. I thought Eriksen was getting run all over the place. Casemiro really wasn't doing much. When Ugarte came on, he increased the intensity levels a little bit, but you also see his limitations. So we need to improve, and that's through the market, whether that's integrating maybe some academy. Obviously, Kobe Mainoo coming back soon will help. Lenny Yoro coming back soon will help. And also, you just see a system that requires a lot of more high-energy players that you really can't play a lot of old players, because I remember even at Sporting, I think Amorim, from what I can remember, only really played 1 old player, and that was Sebastian Coates, the Uruguayan center back, as essential center back. And that's because that was his captain. So he needed that leadership. And Johnny Evans today, I wanted Johnny Evans to play, but I do think left center back was the wrong place to play him. Yeah. I think he should have played central center back in the middle, because when you play a central center back, your central center back has to be basically the leader of the defense, and they also have to be able to. They're the ones that have the best passing angles. They got to pass from left. They got to be able to pass to the left and to the right. And De Ligt, for me, he's too safe. He's not going to break any lines. So I thought for me that was the wrong choice to make, but it is what it is. Also, I want to shout out Kieran McKenna real quick because I was one of his biggest supporters on this platform and on YouTube since the summer. I said he's good enough to coach United one day. A lot of fans boo me. Well, today you saw him coach against United, and obviously this is no dig at Amorim because obviously he has his own situation right now. But he's a good enough coach. They played really well. They're a really good team with the hot level squad they have. So I just want to give him a shout out, and maybe one day in the future, who knows?
But that just shows what happens when you have a team for more than 2 years and you're progressing. Like he's had that team for 3 years now. He's got them from League One. He's got them through the Championship, and now he's shown his quality in the Premier League. So it's a funny because now people are going to do this comparison with McKenna, saying, "Oh, but look what McKenna's doing with Ipswich and Amorim." But like literally, Amorim's been saying, "You can't chat to me about my sporting team that I had with 4 years compared to this team I've had for a week." Like it's not comparable at all. So big up McKenna. He's doing a fantastic job.
Especially from a Man United point of view, it's not as though he's not as though Ten Hag has just left after winning a Champions League and a league title, and we're a brilliant team, and he's gone on to manage the Netherlands, and he's taking over a team full of confidence that's been winning major trophies that's at a high level. Then I think you could expect a much quicker integration, better decision making. But I don't think the rivals do not want to give Man United this time. The media won't either. But it's genuinely, in so many areas of the club, we're at the start of something. And I don't know if you guys ever started anything in your life. You know, maybe you have. Very, very few things are perfect at the beginning, and it's going to take time and patience. However, what we can't lose sight of is the end goal and the standards. And I just think we've got to be patient with that.
This reminds me of when Arsenal. Remember when Arsenal first got Arteta, and it looked like, well, they've just got an absolute like Lego head. Like it just wasn't looking good. They had a few wins here. I remember they beat us. I remember they beat us in the first 3 games of having him. But there was a lot of moments where you're just like, what is this guy doing? Remember there was like in the relegation zone for like how many weeks, you know? And that was in the first couple of years of Arteta. Now look, they haven't won the Premier League, but the people act like the result that you get today is going to be the results you get forever. The squad that you play today will be the squad that you play with forever. We all know that's not going to be the same in the 2 years, 3 years time.
No, I completely agree. I just want to go to this comment that's come through here before I go to you, Sunshine. Sorry, mate. This comment says time and patience equals excuses. So what you're saying here, though, Jack, though, is that what you're referring to is it's called a TTC, which is called a thought terminating cliche. So somebody just saying trust the process, and that's all they say. Stop this conversation, and it's just trust the process. That's not what's going on here. The same as people state when you challenge their high standards. Listen, I've just got standards, mate. Just stop asking me questions and have high standards. That is a thought terminating cliche. What we're talking about is not a thought terminating cliche. We are stating that patience is needed, but you need to have those standards. We understand that the squad needs to be improved. We understand the manager made mistakes today, and he told us he was experimenting, and we hope that he doesn't keep making them again. So just in those 2 examples, that isn't us just using a buzzword and not giving it any detail or breakdown. Because if, for instance, he keeps picking Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, it continues not to work. Yes, you're patient with other areas, but you start to look at it and go, hang on a minute, how are you not identifying this as a major issue? Ten Hag, as an example, did that far too regularly. So again, saying that you want to have time and patience doesn't mean that a manager cannot be critiqued or a player cannot be criticized. We're not using buzzwords to cover up the analysis here. So again, nice try, but you are bullshitting a little bit. Sunshine, over to you, brother.
No, it's all good, man. This point we didn't get the win, of course. I want Man United to win every game, so it is what it is. I think Ipswich were unlucky today. I think they should have gone away with 3 points if we're being fair and honest. Onana made some David De Gea saves tonight, which you cannot fault him for. So, yeah, for me personally, looking at it, it's just like disappointed for Amorim and the team that they didn't deserve the point, in my opinion. But then football is not based on the amount of clear-cut chances you have. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net, as I infamously or famously keep saying. And Ipswich didn't do that for whatever reason. Their shot choices were poor and whatever. So You walk away with a point, which I think overall tends to be a fair result. In terms of Amorim, the only criticism I can have of him is obviously the starting lineup, but I feel like I have some form of understanding. Not saying I'm right or wrong in understanding, but understand why Ahmad ended up being on the right and not on the 10. And I think it's highly to do with the centre backs missing and the fact that what he wants from his wing backs. And I've said this before about Ahmad, my star boy, as you know, defensively he is good. Like we've seen him track back when he's been in the wing position and win the ball back, and he keeps it very well and moves it well out of possession in tough areas. And I think as a wing back, he needs that. So maybe in the summer or even January, depending on Ineos, we may see something of that nature if a player of that profile comes up for the left-hand side. And the reason I say left-hand side is because I believe Mazraoui will go to that right-hand side. And I do believe maybe Luke Shaw will play left centre-back, which we've seen he's been wicked at, in my opinion. Yeah. But I do believe the left wing-back was the situation. And obviously no Martinez. Shaw's just come back from injury. I think it was by default, based on abilities in that area, as to why he chose Ahmad and maybe not Anthony. And the reason I don't believe he chose Anthony is because I don't believe he's as strong going forward as Ahmad is. I think Ahmad is more all-rounder for that period. So I wouldn't look too deep into Ahmad playing right wing. I do believe Grigs is right and say he'd be on the right 10. In the right 10, it's quite evident that he has that. And Garnacho maybe making cameos off the bench if it is Bruno in that situation. We saw he enjoys the idea of Mason Mount, which is a shock to everyone. Again, I had the same opinion under Ten Hag that I don't rate Mason Mount, but I understand why he's in the team from a pressing perspective. And if it works, then you're going to get the best out of him. Doesn't mean I still rate him because I don't as a footballer, but I can understand his importance in the team. So that'll be interesting as well to see. In terms of the game, I don't know. It was I just wanted Amorim to get his win, and I didn't want to lose. And I think every fan, from a fan's perspective, just felt like let's just get the win and enjoy it and like, be happy. But like you say, Terry, it's the reality of the situation. And shout out to you guys, sorting out those trolls, because at this stage I'm getting to a stage where I just don't think people have ever attempted to try and be successful at anything in life genuinely, and I don't think people have genuinely gone down a route of trying to be. How can I put it? Try to have a perspective, shall we say, a perspective that is more in alignment with the reality of hardship and hard work and patience and stuff. It's most definitely not an excuse, but I think that might be a Gen Z thing. I may be an older now. It is what it is.
You know what the Mazza is? I don't even think we're at the point of needing patience, bro. Can the brother get 5 games? Can we see what he's saying first?
No, it is this. It's not even a case of like he don't need patience. He don't even need 5 games. I think the reality of the situation is anyone. I know Terry's talking from experience, and some of you guys. If anyone has been into a situation where you're trying to be great at something, and you've got a project to work on, in order for your ideas to be of quality, it has to have gone into some deep planning. That deep planning cannot take over a week. Otherwise, your plan's probably shit for the end goal.
And plus, in this circumstance, you can plan and plan and plan and plan, but until you start seeing your players in real games, because sport's so interesting. What is it Mike Tyson used to say? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Today is an example of being hit in the face. It's okay, well, he looked really good in training. In a real game, not so much. And it's, we all talk about, we want to see people given opportunities on meritocracy. Well, we don't know how good Johnny Evans looked in training this week. So maybe he got the chance, but then today he lets up and the manager says, Rashford as an example, we don't know. And again, I still don't like Rashford as a 9, really. I thought maybe with someone near him today, but in reality, they weren't that close.
I don't think that was Rashford's fault today, personally. Like, it wasn't great, but like after that goal that he got, like, what more did we do to help get our strikers and our ball players into that area again?
I don't believe he's an out-and-out striker. I don't believe he has the natural abilities to play in that role as according to someone we could get in the transfer market who's of a higher ability. That's not disrespecting him. I just think he's past that. I just think he's past that coaching level. He's 27 now in his prime years of football. I think he's past that how can I put it? He's past that threshold.
Where it can be developed into something else. Yeah.
In his best position.
I agree.
I'm happy overall. I think Amorim's going to be great, but I got no lie.
Yeah, it's just about today. Like like Deezy said, we really struggled to, especially in the first half, to break their press. Like we really, really struggled. And as much as Rashford's not a 9 or Xerxes not good enough or Hoyland's too raw and all these different reasons why our strikers are struggling, how are we even going to see how good they actually are if we're not giving them chances to score from? So hopefully that changes.
I get that. A few comments here that have come through. This is an interesting one. It says Terry said United would make the top 4 before this game. That's not true. I said potentially top 6 we could make if we kick on, but I think we'll make the top 8. I did not say top 4. That is, I've asked a question to Mo and Hassam last week. Do you think United could? That's a fundamentally different thing from me stating we can.
It's still possible.
It's possible mathematically. I just don't think we'll do it. Slot doing fine with no signings. So based on that though, are you saying that Liverpool, Man United squads are of the equal level? This is the problem when Liverpool fans try and use that as a flex, comparing it to United. So you're stating your squad and my squad are the same. Okay, cool. We'll take your word for it. We can all. You don't believe that, do you? So it's a crazy comparison. Josh here says, don't explain to these snowflakes who grew up in a microwave society. Any type of development takes the same habits over a period of time to build sustainable consistency. Well, you've seen, I know they lost some players, but that's why you've seen that with Crystal Palace. Their manager, Oliver, is it Glasner? Glasner. He was being used as the rationale for what a manager should look like 2 or 3 months in. Why is no one using him as the benchmark for managers now? Because they're in a relegation fight and it doesn't suit the narrative. Again, and Barada has said it, I don't want a team that spikes for 6 months and wins a trophy and falls off. I want a team that grows and becomes sustainable. And very few things in, like, what's the expression? Like nothing worthwhile is easy. Maybe that isn't quite the saying, right?
Yeah.
But
nothing easy or nothing hard is easy, and nothing easy is worth it, or something like that.
I forgot the saying now, and we're all getting
No, we know what you're trying to say. Like, if it's worth it, it is something you work hard for. You can't get instant gratification for something that's really worth it. So
nothing worthwhile comes easy, is the saying, and I think that's it though. The same with sustainability. People were calling for Marasca's job in pre-season just after joining Chelsea. The same people are praising Chelsea now. Rome wasn't built in a day, and
that's a good one.
Rowan, right? It's pronounced Rowan, not Runin.
No, Ronin.
Ronin. Okay, sorry. Ronin. Got it. Boom. Ronin. And do you know what's interesting about it? I'm getting banter from my Chelsea friends of mine. And I'm like, remember what you were defending your Chelsea rebuild 2 years ago till now. Like, we're literally right at the start of it. I just love that the people don't keep the same energy, man. And yeah, you guys are right. Ipswich should have won the game today.
Omari Hutchinson was fire, by the way.
It was.
That goal.
But let's keep this a buck. If Hoyland had missed those chances that the lap had, nobody would be sitting there going, you guys should have won today. They'd be saying, Hoyland, shit, bro, for not scoring. So I know that's why troll-wise, I can't take it seriously, because you're always looking for the negative. You wouldn't be objective in the other direction. This is I've got a question about this. I want to go to Grigs. They didn't even give Amorim new manager bounce. Do you want new manager bounce? Or do you think that could create unrealistic expectations?
I mean, I kind of go with the latter. I mean, I wanted to see a little bit better today. I was trying to look from a tactical perspective. I do think that in the midfield, I think he's gonna have to change some things up. I do think we get outnumbered very easily. I think, like we mentioned, Omari Hutchinson, he was finding spaces in the pockets especially the first half. He was finding a lot of spaces. So obviously 2 weeks, and yeah, obviously winning would have been nice. But like if we won, like let's say 2-1, right? Let's say we score a second goal, and we still play shit, and we do that for 4 games in a row. That counts as a new manager bounce, but you're not really learning much. I think you need to go through the teething process, as they say. And today we went through the step 1 of the teething process. Thursday is going to be step 2 because it's Europa League game. Another game you have to win because I think we're 15th in that competition, and we need to pick up a couple wins to get into that top 8, so we don't have to play a 2-legged playoff fixture in like February. That's going to add more games. So yeah, would I like a manager bounce? Yeah, but I've seen other managers that have been successful that don't go through a manager bounce. I also don't think United have the squad where it's like ready. Like I think when Ole had his manager bounce, it was like kind of players that were. It was a nice squad with players that were just like the morale was down. this is a squad that, let's be real, we spent 600 mil on this squad, and it might be the worst collection of 600 mil I have ever seen spent in my life, because United have no dual winners. We just have no dual winners at all. It is bad. So he needs to just keep working and just find solutions. He said, I think he said it too, as the post-match quotes are coming out. He's like, we're going to suffer. We might win some games. We might lose some games. Today, we're thankful we didn't lose because Onana stepped up, right? And I think he mentioned that earlier in the week. There's going to be games where we have to defend in our box to be able to get a result, and we have to defend in front of Onana. And it's going to be like that. The squad is not good enough, and there's a lot of stuff to fix.
And really quickly, this is time for all the Ten Hag outers to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Morally consistent. People said, his first season was really good, and then he fell off. And people said, you know what he should have done? He should have stuck to his ideas and played and sort of developed his style of play, and then gradually got to where we wanted to get to, as opposed to deviating from his style of play and then flapping when he didn't have another plan. Now's your time to prove that you meant what you were saying, because he's saying that I'm trying to build to an idea. And we're gonna get there, but it might take some time. So you might have to go through the pain of, well, these players ain't really got the grasp of the idea yet. This is just what it is.
But the thing is, we all know they're liars. Most fans are liars. Most football fans are liars, bro. They will sit there and say to your face, I'm going to be different this time. Me included, Terry included, all of us included. I'm going to be different this time. I'm going to make sure that we give the manager time. I want to make sure that all the players I don't like, they get gone, and I just support the team. You know what I mean? All of these things. As soon as 5 losses on the bounce happens, which, by the way, we actually haven't experienced 5 losses on the bounce. I just want to say that. But 5 losses on the bounce happens, and then it's, manager out. I want this to, I want that. So we all
what I did find interesting today online is when we say people are liars, like Amorim lying here. Terry, talk about the game. We've spent 50 minutes up until this subject talking about the game, what we like, what we didn't like. Football fans are liars. You've sat here for an hour nearly of us talking about the game, what we liked and didn't like, and now you're telling us to do that. But I don't want to bounce. I want to win games, but I don't want to bounce, because I think Ollie's bounce created in all of us, we got sucked in by it. I don't think there's a Man United fan on earth who wasn't dragged in by it. You just thought basically 9 wins. It was almost like 9 wins out of 9 or 8 wins out of the first 9 games. In some of those matches, we were looking brilliant, and it was a case of, wow, this could be something special. And nobody, and by the way, it's not our job as fans to look into this. The club should have done it. Nobody was really looking at the level that Ollie really was. And once the dust settled, we were left with I think a very good man manager, someone that loved the club, someone that was probably, the players really got behind, but an individual that just wasn't of the elite level tactically. What I want is to win, but I don't want it to be a bounce. I don't want it to just be the players running through brick walls and we get through in moments. I want there to be genuine improvement. So I do get the comment was a little bit flippant and a little bit sarcastic and a bit of a joke, but I'd love us to win 9 games, 10 games on the bounce from here. I'm not saying I don't want that, but there's a part of me that's a little bit worried and a little bit cautious that as fans, we start to overlook the actual issues at the club. There's going to be peaks and troughs. Even, we could win our next 5 games, just as an example. That doesn't mean we're fixed. There's going to be, I think the reason I don't want the bounce isn't because I don't want the wins. It's because I know what comes from a fan base, and then the media build it up, and then it all gets dragged down again. And I think it's about people, win, lose, or draw, for a period of time, being critical, but keeping their feet firmly on the ground. And if we have a crazy bounce, people are going to be out there saying crazy stuff within a week or two. I don't want that.
Amorim said it. He's collecting data, and we want true data. We don't want false data. So if it was a bounce, we'll be getting false data everywhere. Johnny Evans might have to get another contract because he's been amazing. Right. We keep Casemiro and Eriksen in the midfield. We want true data, and we're getting that. True data can come from wins. I'm not saying it can't. I'm not saying we have to lose every game to get this true data. We can get them in multiple situations, but we need proper data for this man to analyze, and we got that today. If we hopefully win the next game, he gets more data and more and more and more. We just can't have our head in the clouds.
But Standard FC are coming for you. You can't use words like data because Standard FC don't think that's what winning. Pep uses it, but winners don't. Basically, do you know what I mean? Pep can because he's a winner. All other managers that haven't won what Pep have can't use data to help themselves grow. Sophia, some of the viewers are annoyed that we're not talking about the game enough. So I want to ask you, what was your thoughts on today's game?
Pick up first and foremost. Haven't been here for a while, so hope that each and every one of you guys are doing well. In regards to the game, I think I calmed down a little bit initially. I was very annoyed with it. On paper, let's be honest, we should have won the game, I feel like. But how the game progressed, Ipswich were the better team, I think. But it is what it is, I guess. Onana, I apologize. I'm sorry. I did, the United black kit, the goalkeeper kit. I bought that one a few months ago. I said, who am I going to get on the back of that shirt? I said, you know what? Onana, I'm going to give you the season. I believe you could turn it around, but you got to prove it to me. So far, he has done just that and more. I think technically, quietly, he's having a good season. I'm not going to lie. And the saves that he made today, it gave me back to like my guy Dave. David De Gea. What David De Gea is doing for Fiorentina in the Serie A, that's kind of what Onana has been doing so far in this season, and it's been great. And also with Ahmad, I think he did well. I feel like he's been a little bit wasted in that right wing back role, though. I think he looks a lot better if he's going to be in the middle. Dallo, respectfully, annoyed the crap out of me today. Bless your heart. But I think he might need to kind of sit a little bit on the bench. So just
respectfully,
respectfully, just a little bit.
No, I hear you. He looks, especially on that left-hand side, he just looks, he looks janky out there.
Terry, since Sophia started off, we need to see it. DZ, I need to see yours. Terry,
yeah, no, I'm here. You know what? Onana, my bad. You know what I mean? You know that it's a black goalkeeper thing. We don't really trust you, man. It's a lot
not for me. That wasn't my reason. I want to make that abundantly clear. My reason was the mistakes he made.
Yeah, and there was a lot of those. So
I'll leave you not to your
propaganda,
stuff, but for me, that is not my reason. I'll leave you three to that.
Listen. You know what it is? Remember in the group chats, and I was holding on to him being good. Because I'm the reverse. I need a black goalkeeper to be good. And it's going to be one, and I want it to be ours. Please.
Yes.
Not a man young getting the spotlight. Onana was going through it. I was shaking. I was getting shaky, man. I was like, yo, we might have bought the wrong one. Neji, but actually, wait, Neji, you're the man that needs to chat as well. Because the way you disrespect the man's name, because they
This is why I won't apologize, because I said it even multiple times. I said, and again, I said we didn't need him at that time. That was my opinion. It wasn't the fact didn't need him at all. And I said, if you're gonna replace De Gea, make sure you replace the saving capabilities. When he was performing shit, I respectfully said his kicking is great, but he's not keeping the ball out the net. Now he's keeping the ball out the net, the same as De Gea. I'm now sitting here going, what's the point in getting rid of De Gea? Because it's the same thing we've just got rid of. But the positive is, now we've got a keeper that is seemingly saving like De Gea and has kicking ability. So I can give him his plaudits. At that time, I feel like I was bang on right. So, yeah, I'm not going to apologize on this state, but I will give him his credit 100%.
I was ready to get rid of him.
I did it earlier on in the show. Like a year ago, I remember saying, more December last year, I just said we should sell him in January. This guy is not good enough. That was after a series of mistakes. But I'm touching wood when I say this. He's become the goalkeeper I thought we signed. I thought we got frauded. It turns out we haven't. Do you know what I mean? It turns out we haven't been defrauded. Take growing pains now to get to the light at the end. Absolutely. I think Maradon also said you guys are going to get worse. You should have stuck with Rude. We might get worse before we get better. But the problem is with the world of instant gratification, people don't like the journey. You may get worse before you get better, but what we've not done in 11 years. And I know people that want to improve, and that for some people, Man United are like an extension of their life and they need Man United to be good. So, because I think people do this with their football teams. They live vicariously through them. If my team's good, I get more respect. Like I'm looked at as a better person if my football team's good. which I feel really sorry for people that think like that, because you need to find validation, and you need to validate yourself in a different way. But like, it's one of these things where you might have to go backwards before you go forward, because what we've never done in 11 years is stuck to a system and mastered it. It's always been, oh, that's not working, let's change. Not quite getting what we want, we change. And that's how you end up with these Frankenstein squads that are actually no use to anybody in the short term. Saw a lot of United fans saying Chelsea and United's squads and starting 11s are comparable in quality. Our scouting has been superior. You'll need time. I think certain areas of your squad are better. For instance, everybody's fit. I wouldn't say your backline and goalkeeper are better than ours as an example. I would take the majority of our main centre-backs, even fullback, really, over the majority of yours. Goalkeeper, definitely. But midfield, overall superior in every single way. There's no doubt about it. But this squad will get better as well over time with this manager and training. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I hear you on that. Terry, you have to admit United's squad is not good. But when you say not good, what are we talking about here? Do I think it's not good enough to be in the top 8 or the top 6 or even win a trophy? No, because it's done that. Do I think it's good enough to win the league? No. I think when you say not good, I mean this with respect to, we just can't throw a basic term out like that. We need to, how not good? Like, where are we ranking this? And if it's only the 15th best in the league, then if the manager ends up coming 8th, are we going to praise that and say it's overachievement? Like, we need to be fair in these conversations here. So I'd love some more detail from you. For context, about Liverpool not winning the league after selling Suarez and Mascherano. Yeah, but you still had a very good team that you inherited, my friend. And there's no way you...
Mascherano weren't there, though, when they almost won the league.
I don't think so. I don't think
no,
they were.
Wasn't there.
And
Suarez
was. He was.
Yeah.
And I think he went in the summer after biting someone in the World Cup in 2000.
About Liverpool, though, yeah. Like, again, I'm a United fan, so most probably just going to go over people's head. But from a footballing perspective, a lot of Liverpool fans forget that they were in the lead they're acting as if like they've always been behind Man City and they've always been chasing to the final game. The same with Arsenal. Like, if you've been in the lead, like you're winning the champion, you're looking to win the league basically by a certain amount of points. It's on you to maintain that. That's not on City or anyone else. Like, they've had good enough squads to go and win the league. That's when I look at it and go, it's excuses. It's like, oh yeah, but City's this. It's like they can hide under Pep and hide under City and Moyle without them actually being accountable to say, wait, we were leading that Man City team in these league tables. Like, let's just be honest. Like, Liverpool should have had at least 2 trophies for the league. Easy. They should have won it.
I agree. And the idea that some Liverpool fans have come on here and said Slot didn't buy anyone, so Amorim shouldn't need anybody. It's crazy. Terry, you're lying. Both our fullbacks are better. Cole and Fofana are better. Well, I'm not lying. I've got a difference of opinion. That's not the same thing. But equally, look, I don't think any of your fullbacks, Reece James ain't fit enough. His availability is not there. Are better than Maswari. I would take him over all your fullbacks. Yep. I wouldn't swap Colwell or Fofana for Lenny Euro. I wouldn't swap either of them, even for De Ligt. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying you've got bad players, though. But yeah, I'm not lying. I just have a difference of opinion to my friend.
People sleep on Martinez as well because he got injured. After he's injured, he was a bit shaky. Martinez.
If he had an Arsenal shirt on, bro, people are gassing him up. That's facts. Look at the stuff that my man does on the pitch, bro. Old school defender and can ball out. Like, no, come on, no. Stop it.
Actually, no, you are right. You're right. Look, Cucurella would.
No, he's not better than Masraoui.
No way.
He's not better than Masraoui.
He's not better than Masraoui.
But at left back, yeah, you're actually right. Not about him. No, you are right about him. You are right about him. But overall, like I'm saying, I would say if you include goalkeepers and the body of quality defenders, that area of Man United is better. Chelsea midfield is superior, and in the attack,
flip a coin.
Yeah, well, you know what? They've got Jackson.
The attack.
No, they're bad. No, Chelsea's better.
Hang on. One sec. Do you consider Palmer the attack or midfield?
Attack.
Midfield.
See, I put him in midfield, so that's why the midfield's there. Attack-wise, Jackson is a better goal scorer than anyone else in our team at the moment. But I don't know if I'm not saying I'm not going swapping. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd buy it. I don't know how many of Chelsea's attackers I would buy to improve Man United's team. Does that make sense? Where you go, I want to go to another level, so I'm going to buy that Chelsea player.
And they got
Pedro,
Sancho.
maybe.
They got Sancho.
I think Pedro. I think Pedro Neto improves
Pedro
us.
Neto's a great shout. Yeah,
Pedro
Pedro
Neto and
Neto.
Nkunku,
Neto,
those two, man.
yes. Neto's a baller.
Well,
Yes.
Nkunku don't play for them. I don't know. I know that Palmer's there, but do you know what I'd say about Pedro Neto though? The only thing I'm an R on, and he hasn't had injuries yet at Chelsea. He's got a terrible injury record as well, so that comes in. But listen, by the way, Chelsea fans, please don't get triggered. I'm not slagging your team off. I think you're excellent this year. I'm just being fair and what I think and feel. Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned into the show today. It means a great deal to us as ever. We're back tomorrow with more content. Make sure you're all here at 6 p.m. tomorrow for the Top 6 show, which, listen, Man United will get a bit of stick, but tomorrow we are having a Man City cookout, bruv. We are barbecuing for 2 hours solid. We are literally going to be dissecting what is wrong, because I've got a new word for them. Man City are bastardized. They are bastardized at this moment in time.
Bastardized.
Oh, wait.
Bastardized.
Bastardized, sorry, that's the one. Yeah, bastardized. Yeah. I think I said it wrong. All right, but I got corrected. But I know what it means. I just said the word wrong. But yes, that's what. Listen, everybody, Terry Sassy Pants. Hey, wow. Do you know what's really funny? Like, I'm actually sitting here doing this in my boxes as well, which is so funny that he said that. I was like, oh, because I was just at home in my own home office. You know what I mean? They're quite big boxes. I've got to walk the dog in a minute, so I'm just getting a bit of air before I go for a long walk.
Right.
Before I go for a long walk. Speaking of achievements, though, I've been training my dog to do something, and he did it for the first time today. That where I live, there's a cross-country horse track, because I live out in the countryside. Big jumps. My dog started hurdling over these 5-foot horse jumps today, like full thing, doing the whole thing. So proud. I was like, honestly, I was filming it, sending it to my family. It was like my kid walking for the first time. I was like, look what I got Rocky to do. He's great. That's been the best part of my weekend. Cheers, United. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Good night. God bless. And Terry and his sassy pants, we'll see you soon. Peace.